You ever notice how everyone talks? Everyone's got something to say. I'm going to do this. I'll start that. I'll become this. Just wait till next year. Well, we've built an entire generation of mouth runners. People don't even dream quietly anymore. They broadcast it like an ad before a movie. I'm manifesting. No, you're not manifesting. You're procrastinating. You're trying to convince yourself by talking. Because deep down, you know you ain't doing a damn thing. Let me tell you something. Talk is cheap. Anyone can talk. Talk is free. Execution costs. That's why most people stick with talking, because execution hurts. Execution means getting up when you don't feel like it. Execution means dealing with failure. Execution means you against you every day without applause, without validation. Most people can't handle that silence. So they talk instead, they post, they tweet, they tell the world what's coming, but inside nothing's coming, just more excuses wrapped in someday. Here's the thing, studies show around 92% of people who publicly announce their goals never follow through. You know why? Because your brain gets a dopamine hit just from talking about it. You literally feel like you've done something, even though you've done nothing. That's why you see dudes post new era on Instagram every January, like they just signed with Nike. 6 months later, they're back on the couch with a pizza box and a controller, blaming the economy. And I'm not judging. I used to be that guy. I talk big. I'll start when I'm ready. Next month, I'll go hard. Bro, next month doesn't exist. Ready doesn't exist. Life doesn't care about your perfect timing. You either do it or you don't. You either bleed for your goals or you talk them to death. I remember this one guy I knew. Every time I saw him, he had a new plan. I'm starting a brand. I'm getting in shape. I'm going to invest. He was full of plans, always had a new idea. I said to him once, you've been planning for 5 years. When do you actually start? He said, I'm just waiting for the right moment. I said, bro, there's no right moment. There's just now. Fast forward 5 years, he's still waiting. And you know the funniest part? He still talks like he's one move away from greatness. Like he's got some secret play nobody else knows. The truth is, most people don't want success. They want the illusion of progress. They want to feel like they're trying, not actually try. Because trying means risking humiliation. Trying means admitting you might fail. And people are so damn scared of looking stupid that they'd rather stay broke than be seen failing. That's why I respect action. Even if you fail, good. At least you did something. At least you got data. You've got experience. The man who fails 100 times is still miles ahead of the man who just talks about winning. Because at least he's been in the game. Talking doesn't teach you shit. Losing does. Here's a funny stat on average. People spend about 2 hours a day talking about what they want to do and less than 20 minutes doing something about it. Imagine that. 120 minutes of fantasy, 20 minutes of effort. That's the real ratio of success in today's world. And then people wonder why life feels empty. It's because they keep feeding the ego, but starving the hustle. And you'll hear people say, but I'm waiting until I feel motivated. Stop. Motivation is a scam. You think every winner wakes up feeling ready? Hell no. They just do it anyway. That's the difference. They shut the fur up mode. Because discipline will carry you when motivation dies. So yeah, talk is cheap. But silence is expensive. Silence is when you grind alone, when nobody claps, when nobody knows what you're doing, but you keep going anyway. That's where character is built. You ever notice the real winners don't say much? They just show results. They're too busy doing the thing you're still talking about. If you want to separate yourself, stop explaining, stop announcing, stop promising, let your results talk. Let people wonder how the hell you did it. Because that's power, not likes. Not retweets, not validation, results. So next time you feel like saying, I'm going to do this, shut your mouth and do it. Let the silence make the noise. You ever notice how people love to look busy? It's hilarious. Everyone's grinding, locked in, on the move. Bro, you posted that you're grinding. That's already proof you're not. The guy actually grinding doesn't have time to post motivational quotes at 3 a.m. He's asleep because he worked his ass off. He's not posting his breakfast saying hustle mode. He's in hustle mode. Big difference. We've turned talking about success into a sport. People treat it like cardio, burns energy, no result. And here's the funniest thing. Studies show over 70% of people exaggerate their productivity online. Think about that. 7 out of 10 are lying. Just finished a crazy workout. Bro, you did 3 push-ups and took a mirror selfie. The internet has created fake warriors, men and women who look tough but have zero proof behind the image. That's why I always say your mouth can write checks, your body can't cash. And that's exactly what happens when you live for appearance instead of results. You'll talk yourself into believing you're doing something when you're really just watching others do it. Talking gives you a fantasy version of achievement. And fantasies feel good, but they pay nothing. Here's the real world. Results don't come from words. They come from hours. Boring, repetitive, quiet, painful hours. The stuff nobody wants to post. That's why most people never reach their potential. They hate boredom. They want fireworks, not grind. They want the movie, not the behind the scenes. But the truth is, behind the scenes is the movie. The highlight reel is just 5 seconds of what took 500 days. You think the guy with the mansion, the car, the body, the respect got there because he talked about it? Hell no. He shut up. He disappeared. He stopped telling people his plans and started living. And here's the thing. When you actually start working, you'll lose a lot of people because talking attracts attention. Doing attracts jealousy. Most of your friends won't even support your silence. They'll get uncomfortable because your discipline exposes their laziness. They'll say you've changed. Damn right you have. You stop being like them. You stop sitting in the circle of someday. You broke the pattern. You stop talking about dreams and start building them. There's this stat, and it's brutal. 85% of people are unhappy with where they are, but only 10% will actually take consistent action to change it. That's the gap between talkers and doers. Well, excitingly, walk through life with a slight bit of discipline and outwork 90% of the planet. That's how low the bar is right now. You don't need to be a genius. You just need to shut your mouth and keep going every day, even when nobody cares. Especially when nobody cares, because that's when most people quit, right before it starts to matter. You'll see people saying, I'm trying. Trying doesn't count. Trying is just a polite way to say, I'm not doing enough. Either you did it or you didn't. There's no medal for almost. You can't almost get in shape. You can't almost be disciplined. You can't almost succeed. That's why talkers stay stuck. They live in almost, you know what's really powerful? Results that speak for themselves. Imagine walking into a room and people feel your presence without you saying a word. That's real energy. That's what happens when you stop announcing and start producing. People respect quiet results more than loud intentions. And let's be real, nobody believes your words anymore. We live in a world where everyone's selling something. Their image, their course, their dream. So when you talk, people just nod and move on. But when you do, when you show undeniable proof, suddenly they listen. Suddenly you're the one they call lucky. They won't see the thousands of hours behind it. They'll only see the outcome. That's fine. Let them. You're not doing it for applause anyway. The people who win in life aren't the ones shouting. They're the ones building. They're in the gym when you're scrolling. They're reading when you're gossiping. They're executing when you're getting ready. So stop preparing forever. Stop promising forever. There's no perfect time. You don't need another plan. You need momentum. At some point, you got to stop explaining what you're going to do and just go fucking do it. And when you start doing, don't talk about it. Go ghost. Let the results appear out of nowhere. Because silence shocks people more than speeches ever could. People are terrified of results. Sounds crazy, but it's true. Because the moment you get real results, there's no more excuse. You can't hide behind one day anymore. You're either doing it or you're not. Most people don't want that kind of accountability. They'd rather keep dreaming because dreams are safe. Reality isn't. Reality will punch you in the mouth and remind you that talking never did shit. Comfort is the real drug. Not nicotine, not caffeine. Comfort. It's what's keeping everyone average. Your bed, your phone, your routine, your fake busy schedule. It's all built to keep you from growing. The system wants you distracted, comfortable, predictable. Because a man who's uncomfortable becomes dangerous. He questions things. He works harder. He starts thinking for himself. But a man who's cozy will defend his comfort like it's a religion. You ever try telling someone to change their habits? Watch how defensive they get. Yeah, but I'm trying. Yeah, but I'm tired. Yeah, but I'm tired. Yeah, but I'm tired. Yeah, but it's hard. No shit. It's hard. That's the point. If it were easy, everyone would be rich and respected. But they're not. Because easy is everywhere and easy kills ambition. Here's a fact that'll blow your mind. Around 80% of people admit they spend more time planning to change their life than actually changing it. Just plan. Talking about what they'll do once they feel ready. Nobody ever feels ready. You think the guy who built a business, who transformed his body, who changed his life felt ready. No, he felt scared. He felt lost. But he acted anyway. That's the difference between comfort and growth. One keeps you safe. The other makes you someone worth remembering. And here's the sad part. Mediocrity is now celebrated. People get praised for trying. At least you tried. No, stop. You don't clap for failure when it's caused by laziness. You clap when someone keeps going after failing. But we've built a soft culture that treats effort like achievement. We don't get trophies for almost. We don't get results for effort. You get results for execution. You gotta stop looking for comfort and start chasing chaos. Growth comes when you step into shit that scares you. You'll never find yourself in a place that's easy. You'll find yourself when it's dark, when it's lonely, when everything in you wants to quit and you don't. So yeah, talk is cheap. Comfort is expensive. It costs you your potential. Every minute you spend talking about your dreams instead of building them, someone else is living them. Every excuse you make is another brick in the wall that keeps you average. Break that wall. Stop saying I'm gonna. Stop saying I will. Start saying nothing. And just do it. Social media turned everyone into a motivational speaker with zero credentials. Everyone's got a quote. Everyone's got advice. Everyone's suddenly a mindset coach. It's wild. Half these people haven't even fixed their own lives, but they're out here telling you how to live yours. That's the problem. We're addicted to pretending. People want to look successful more than they want to be successful. You see it every day. People posting grind never stops from their beds at noon. Bro, the grind clearly stopped. Or girls doing self-care day after working 2 hours. Listen, self-care isn't bubble baths and Netflix. Self-care is doing the uncomfortable stuff that actually changes your life, but that doesn't get likes, right? So they post the illusion instead. And the crazy part, it works. We built a whole world where appearance beats reality. People don't even care if they're actually winning as long as they look like they are. It's validation over growth. It's approval over purpose. That's why so many people are miserable with smiles on their profiles. They're playing a character. Here's the truth. Validation kills hunger. The second you start caring what everyone thinks, you lose your edge. You stop doing it for yourself and start performing for others. You start chasing applause instead of results. And when that applause stops, so does your effort. Winners don't post every move. They don't announce, they execute. They're too busy getting it done to prove anything to anyone. They don't need to look rich. They are. They don't need to scream discipline. They live it. You want to stand out. Go silent. Stop showing your plans. Stop begging for attention. Build in silence and show results that can't be ignored. Let people guess what you're up to. That mystery, that's real power. Everyone else is talking. Be the one who doesn't. Be the one who lets action speak. Because when you move quietly, results hit louder. Silence is rare now. It's your secret weapon. Let others chase likes, you chase legacy. You ever notice how nobody believes in you until it's done? Nobody claps when you're trying. Nobody says keep going when you're failing. But the moment you make it, everyone's like, I always knew you'd do it. No, they didn't. They were just waiting to see if you'd quit. That's life. Nobody's going to believe in you until you force them to. That's why you can't rely on support. You can't rely on motivation. You can't rely on anyone but you. People quit because they expect applause too early. They start something, get tired, get ignored, and suddenly they think it's not worth it. But that's exactly when it is worth it. The silence means you're entering rare territory, a place most people never reach because it's too damn hard. Here's a stat that'll piss you off. Around 70% of people quit their goals within the first month. Not because they can't do it, but because it got uncomfortable. The gym hurt, the business was slow, the feedback wasn't instant, so they quit. They trade future success for present comfort. They give up right before it starts working. Listen, pain is the real currency of success. Every rep, every late night, every I don't feel like it that you push through, that's you paying for your goals in advance. The pain is the receipt. It means you're earning it. The truth is, nobody cares how hard you're trying. The world only sees results. It's not fair, but it's real. You can cry or you can use it. Let them doubt you. Let them laugh. Let them ignore you. That's fuel. That's energy. That's your proof that you're on the right path, because nobody doubts average people. They doubt threats. So when it gets hard, good, that's the sign. You're getting close. Most people tap out. You don't. You keep moving, keep bleeding, keep fighting until they have no choice but to shut up and respect it. Talk less, grind more, feel the pain, and keep walking. Because once you break through, all that doubt turns into silence. And that silence, that's the sound of victory. You know what's funny? The same people who doubted you will come back acting like they always supported you. They'll rewrite history. I always knew you'd make it. Sure, bro. You didn't even clap when I started. But that's how it goes. Success makes everyone forget their own words. That's why you can't take opinions seriously. Because opinions flip the moment you win, and that's why you keep your head down. You don't owe the world explanations. You don't owe anyone proof until you're ready to show it. Let them think you fell off. Let them assume you're done. While they're gossiping, you're growing. While they're talking, you're stacking skills, stacking wins, stacking results. People talk because it's easy. Talking is free therapy for the weak. They run their mouths to feel powerful. But the real power, the quiet power, that's you doing what they said you couldn't. You don't argue, you don't defend, you don't post about it. You just keep stacking undeniable evidence until even your enemies start respecting you. That's domination. And here's the truth most people won't tell you. Your success will make people uncomfortable. Your improvement will remind them of what they're not doing. They'll call you arrogant, obsessed, too much. Ignore it. That's the tax you pay for leveling up. Because when you grow past people, they have two choices, rise with you or talk about you. And most will choose the second. So stop waiting for anyone to understand your vision. They won't. It's yours for a reason. Stop explaining yourself. Stop defending your dream to people who've given up on theirs. Just go all in. Go until they have to respect it. Go until they have no choice but to shut up and watch. And when you finally win, don't gloat. Don't say, I told you so. Just smile. Because the moment you win, their words die. The noise disappears. And that silence, that's your reward. That's what all the nights, all the pain, all the doubt were for. Talk is cheap, always will be. But action changes everything. So don't talk about becoming the man. Become him. Don't say you're going to win. And let the results do all the talking.